From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Friday, July 18th. Here are today's headlines. A fatal fire at a mall in Iraq is once again raising questions about accountability and safety standards in the country. At least 61 people were killed in a massive fire at a hypermarket in the Iraqi city of Kut. Many of the victims died of suffocation. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani released a statement offering condolences to the families of victims and announcing that he's asked the Interior Ministry to launch an investigation into the cause of the fire. The National's Sinan Mahmoud reports from Baghdad.
Right now, emotions are running high in Kut. Grieving families are still gathering outside the city's main morgue to collect the dead bodies of their beloved ones, and officials racing to identify remains and uncover what went wrong. According to initial findings from a separate investigation carried out by the provincial authorities, the cause of the fire was electrical fault, and what has made it even worse is that the building violates safety requirements, according to provincial officials in Wast province.
Iraq's Interior Ministry said more than 45 people had been rescued, while 14 bodies recovered from the scene remained unidentified. Safety standards in the construction sector in Iraq are frequently flouted. People have blamed widespread corruption and weak government monitoring for the lack of standards in many areas of the country.
Beyond the horror of the scene itself, what's really striking here is how familiar this is starting to feel. Whether it's fires in hospitals like the ones in Baghdad and other provinces a few years ago, or the deadly fire at a wedding hall in Nineveh province, north of Baghdad in 2023, we keep seeing these catastrophic accidents, different places, different circumstances, but always the same underlying issue: serious gaps in safety standards and enforcement. There is also this growing frustration that without real accountability and systematic change, we may just be waiting for the next disaster to happen.
Beirut is seeking a treaty that would see a majority of Syrians incarcerated in Lebanon serve the rest of their sentence in neighboring Syria. It's part of a bid to ease the severe overcrowding in Lebanon's prisons. The National's Jamie Prentis spoke with Lebanon's Justice Minister Adel Nassar. Here he is with more.
Lebanon's prisons are heavily overcrowded, with high pre-trial detention rates, slow judicial proceedings, and a lack of capacity just some of the reasons why. For example, at Lebanon's largest prison in Roumieh, this was built for 1,200 detainees, but currently holds around 3,400. It's also important to remember that Lebanon's economic crisis has led to severe budget cuts, which affects essential services. Observers also say that economic crisis has led to an increase in crime rates.
Lebanon's prison population is roughly 8,500. Around 2,000 of those are believed to be Syrian detainees. The treaty idea with Syria was formulated by Minister Adel Nassar, who came into the position earlier this year. He's part of a new Lebanese government seeking to bring about reform.
I hope that the Syrian authority will make a follow-up on that, because we opened the door and we are willing to cooperate with them. And I said already in the media that I had sent the same message. I welcome a visit from the Ministry of Justice, the Syrian Ministry of Justice in Lebanon, to discuss the possibility to sign a treaty.
The proposed treaty would ease the burden in the population because it means that those who have already been convicted of certain crimes would serve their sentence in Syria. But we don't know exactly how many of those who have been convicted of crimes that would make them ineligible for the treaty, such as terrorism, there are.
Amid a new eruption of conflict in Syria over the last few days, Israel has continued to claim it's defending the Druze minority in the country. But analysts tell The National that its most recent attacks against government troops in Syria are an example of its use of the Druze community as a quote-unquote pawn in a wider strategy. Here's the National's Nada AlTaher with more.
We've seen Israeli attacks in Syria recently, seemingly in response to the sectarian conflict that happened in Sueda, the intervention of Syria's own government, Benjamin Netanyahu warning Israeli Druze in the occupied Golan Heights to refrain from entering into Syria to, quote-unquote, protect or defend their brothers there.
Days ago, members of the Druze community in Sueda and Bedouins clashed in a local dispute that soon escalated. It prompted state intervention by Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara''s army. Then, videos began emerging of al-Shara-linked troops harassing and cracking down on Druze leaders. Israel then launched attacks and said that it would protect the Druze in Syria. Its army attacked key symbols of power in the Syrian capital, including the presidential palace, the defense ministry, and the army headquarters.
Analysts have told The National that Israel's interest in Syria is not entirely innocent, that Israel is using the Druze as pawns to further their own agendas in terms of weakening the current government, in terms of preventing government troops from moving farther south than Damascus, because they don't trust the Syrian government.
Druze leaders in Damascus reached a ceasefire agreement on Wednesday night. That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get more on these stories and follow our live coverage at thenationalnews.com. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.